Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we are going to be talking about Pokimane because recently she finally came back from her break from making content over on Twitch with a video on YouTube. This happened yesterday and it's actually number 5 on trending right now, and this video is called Why I Took a Break plus What's Next for Me. And I feel like this is kind of like an interesting look into the content creation side of the internet. I know a lot of you guys, you've never made content before, especially on a scale like obviously Pokimane. I mean, not most people ever get that chance anyway, but with that being said though, I just wanted you guys to kind of see it from a creator's perspective, and also I kind of wanted to talk about this because I've noticed a little bit of a trend recently, it seems like, with a lot of creators on Twitch, where they just kind of seem fed up with the platform in a way, right? They just seem like they're kind of over the entire Twitch grind and everything. Maybe they're starting to realize that multi-platforming is really the best way to grow your online brand. They're realizing that, you know, putting all this effort into Twitch maybe might not be worth it really for their brand. I don't really know. But we're going to take a look at this video and talk about it because honestly, it's an interesting look into, like I said, the content creation side of everything. But plus, like I said, I want to talk about what's going on with these Twitch streamers, what's going on overall, and what it's kind of leading to, I feel like. So, but before we go into the video any further, I want to remind you guys that YouTube has this like glitch or issue where people are getting unsubscribed from their favorite channels. So I just want to remind you that if you enjoyed today's video, to make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on for all of my content to be in your YouTube inbox every time I upload. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this video.
For starters, all the classic reasons that people take breaks: feeling burnt out or tired of reading the same annoying comments. I moved and I didn't realize, like, for the first couple weeks how much I had been putting off doing all the things I need to do to take care of myself. Decorating my new place, taking care of my stream room, which I'll show you guys soon. Even like finding grocery stores nearby that you like, getting into a good routine with a gym nearby that you like. Legit, like the basic human things I was not doing and I was very much putting on the back burner.
Alright, so this is actually a major issue that people deal with content creation. It's something that I've personally dealt with. Pretty much, I feel like anyone who's done content creation seriously on the internet has kind of felt this way before, and it's dealing with burnout. One of the big things with creating content online, I feel like, is it can get extremely tedious and repetitive sometimes. Not every single day of work online is actually something new. So it feels like after a while you kind of get into this like habit of just doing the same thing and going through the motions, and especially being like a Twitch streamer, I can really imagine how that gets exacerbated. You know, just reading the same messages in chat every day, feel like you're streaming the same video games and the same thing every single day. Like, at least with my job, like, I get to talk about different stuff, right? Like today I'm talking about completely different topics than I'll be talking about tomorrow. Of course, there's still elements of the job that get really repetitive and tedious, like editing videos, always sourcing gameplay specifically for videos, the actual recording process. Like, there's a lot of things that get tedious, but I feel like this is one of the things that a lot of us creators don't really take seriously enough, is finding the time for ourselves, for our personal lives, you know, to enjoy our other hobbies and to just kind of live our lives. So I really feel Pokimane in the way that content creation can be stressful. And I know a lot of you were just, oh, Optimus, how can you be stressed out after uploading YouTube videos for a living? It really can't be that hard. It's not necessarily that it's a difficult job, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't give you burnout. You know what I mean? Like, you're still doing work, you're still making things, and you're still making a lot of very important decisions. I mean, I feel like this is kind of the reason why a lot of creators don't open up in this way. A lot of people don't talk about how they feel and what they're going through like Pokimane do, because the viewers like immediately brush off burnout and things as, oh, stop complaining about your job. It's just kind of an observation that in reality is backed by the facts. I mean, burnout is a very real thing, and it's something that affects millions of people on a daily basis, no matter what your job is.
All in all, it feels like I just don't really want to participate in the rat race that is streaming.
Once again, I also really understand this point of view too, because like, I do YouTube, obviously, I don't stream as much, and if I do stream, it's here on YouTube. I don't really participate in the entire like Twitch rat race, as she calls it, but this is a pretty major problem with online content creation, is the algorithms are so fast moving and like everything around you is so fast moving that it forces you to keep up at like a pretty crazy pace. And like she says in this video, you know, it leads to burnout, and it leads you due to not taking enough personal time to like connect with yourself and like learn what you're passionate about outside of that. Like, in order to really succeed in online content creation, you have to grind, you know what I mean? You have to put in like this insane amount of work. You have to have a crazy work ethic. Eventually, like, you might even have to get a team around you to help kind of figure everything out. And it does get difficult at times, and it does get really just to a point where you kind of feel like, yeah, maybe I'm not as passionate about this as I used to be. But especially on Twitch, I feel like the rat race and the algorithm there is much more punishing than YouTube in a lot of ways. First off, it's like way harder to get discovered on Twitch, which I realize for Pokimane is not an issue because she's already one of the biggest streamers, but in order to keep your basically crown at the top, you have to put in an insane amount of work hours in order to, you know, continuously stream and keep your numbers up and everything. And I feel like to a certain extent, when you're constantly doing that and like you don't have a lot of help, or like, once again, you're not taking the time outside of that hobby slash work vibe to really kind of ground yourself as a person, it puts you in a pretty bad mental predicament, you know what I mean, where you just get super burnt out, and that affects like the rest of your mental health, and you might become like depressed and a lot of other things, right? And in terms of Twitch, like, I've already realized as a person and a creator that like it's not really a platform for me. And that's not to say it's not a platform for somebody like Pokimane, but for me personally, like, I just really don't want to sit there and stream for 13 hours a day on Twitch in order to really have a chance to actually pop off on the platform, just to potentially get banned for something completely ridiculous and just stupid, and not even really feel like Twitch cares about the community, you know what I mean?
Lastly, and frankly, I've just been enjoying my time exploring other platforms. Like, it's nice to just take a quick Insta story and share it and then continue to live my life. Or sit down for 10 minutes and film a little TikTok story time and upload it and then continue about my day. Like, it's nice to be a little more like light touch here and there. It's just, I feel like other platforms fit into my lifestyle nowadays a little bit better. And I think streaming and gaming still does fit in there. It just doesn't have to be everything.
Alright, so this kind of takes me into one of the points that I really wanted to focus on in this video. It feels like in the last few weeks and even months, with a lot of like the YouTube gaming signings and like, you know, people moving from the Twitch platform, it just feels like at this point in time, a lot of the people who kind of first blew up on Twitch in the last like half decade, they're all starting to kind of realize that like, maybe Twitch isn't necessarily the only platform for me, right? Like, for a while, I kind of had this mentality with YouTube, right? Where it's just like, oh, this is my bread and butter. This is the platform I need to focus on. This is where I have my following. And I feel like if you really want to truly enjoy your like everything that there is to offer, I guess, when it comes to content creation and when it comes to doing this full time, you really just can't hone in on just one platform, right? And that might sound hypocritical because you're like, oh, well, Optimus, you're still focusing on YouTube. The majority of your content's on YouTube. That is true, but at the same time, in like the last few years, I've experimented with virtually every major social media platform. I had a deal with Facebook Gaming that I worked on for months. I actually ran a meme page on Instagram through my brand. I also, at the same time, have made efforts to get into doing TikTok more, you know what I mean? Uploading my short form content to both YouTube Shorts and TikTok. So I understand this because I've gone through the same thing where I've come to the realization that like, hey, this doesn't have to be the only thing. Now, with Twitch though, I think a lot of that has to do with the issues it has as a platform. I feel like a lot of people are opening their eyes to the idea that like, hey, maybe Twitch doesn't care about their community as much as they should. Maybe they make literally some of the most brain dead possible decisions they could make. And that's not to say that platforms like YouTube don't do the same thing, but like, if we're being honest, Twitch as a platform is worse than YouTube. I mean, in my opinion, YouTube streaming is already better than Twitch streaming. I enjoy watching streams on YouTube more than I do on Twitch. I enjoy streaming as a creator more on YouTube than I do Twitch. And like, Twitch just has kind of constantly proven that like, they're not really gonna have the back of the community. And while YouTube in a way has also done the same thing, YouTube is also expanding as a business to accommodate people like Pokimane a lot more, because as a streaming platform, it's becoming much much more legitimate, and you can upload every other form of video content on there as well. Like, it just is a much more rounded platform. The algorithm is a lot easier to understand, and it's a lot better for creators, and at the end of the day, you know, it has higher viewership, and I feel like these things shouldn't be ignored, right? Like, you know, she talks about burnout and everything and not, you know, wanting to participate in the rat races of these platforms, but I genuinely cannot think of a worse platform to try and participate in the rat race in than on Twitch. Like, it's just not a good platform, I feel like, for mental health. I don't know, man, but with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about Pokimane's latest video and signing out.